Today, a very special Geoff Wilson show. This is the extended cut of our special behind-the-scenes look at CardsHQ, and you're going to learn a lot of details beyond what we just showed recently on our Sports Card Investor YouTube channel. So get ready to get the inside scoop on everything going on with CardsHQ and all the secrets of our business plan. Well, at least most of them. We're going through that today. Let's get started. Carter, Ryan, walking into this space today, all the progress that has been made here over the last 3 months since we announced this thing, what does it feel like?
It feels unreal. I mean, this place is totally different than when we signed the lease. I mean, it's crazy. The red tile's gone and everything. Obviously, our construction crew's done an amazing job. So, and we've done a lot of work back at the office and traveling all around the country going to shows. And there's still a lot to do here in the final weeks, though.
There's a lot to do in the final weeks. Ryan, how are you feeling? We're going to talk a little bit more about, getting down to the finish line here. And I know you guys are working a ton right now. Everybody's working a ton. We got people from my Sports Card Investor team pitching in on this. We got lots of people in lots of different ways helping this. How are you feeling right now, Ryan? What's your mood?
I mean, I'm feeling great. I go back to those early days, going to the HLG office and putting these ideas into the air and letting our architects, put this all together. And now we're sitting in here and I'm seeing it like, wow, we talked about this really early on. We wanted it this way. And now we're sitting here in the space and it's what we said. I mean, it looks great.
It's really cool. We got a nice compliment when we walked in this morning because we've got some members of our Sports Card Investor production team here, Phil and Brian and Charles, and they said, man, this looks just like the rendering that we saw from the architects. That's the goal, right? The goal is to get it to look just like the rendering, and the construction crew has done a tremendous job of getting it there. So it's very, very exciting. But today I want to focus on the physical space and how we're going to use the space and what people are seeing, as they look at clips of the space and kind of what they're seeing. And so I want to kind of walk through this space in our minds and talk a little bit about our business plan in relation to all of this. So, first of all, obviously, you come in the front door, and right now, as we look around the store, we don't have any of our showcases, in place, nor do we have any of our our shelving units on the walls, right? The base of them is there, but none of the shelves are there. But I think when people walk in and all that's in place, which it will be in a few weeks, that people instantly are going to be hopefully overwhelmed by the amount of product that we have in the store, right? And I know that's been a challenge for us on the buying side to get ready for that. But Carter, is that the first feeling that you want people to take in when they walk inside?
Yeah, that you just think this is like absurd. Like this is something you've never seen before. Just literally walls and walls of cards and sealed product, plenty of options for any collector of any type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, literally something people have never seen before. I mean, we're really trying to almost create a whole card show within a store. Like, if you go to a card show and you walk around to all the different dealer tables and take in all the different, cases of cards, like I think our store is going to have maybe even more cards than maybe what some smaller card shows have, right? I mean, it's as a collector, Ryan, I think, I hope this resonates as kind of the ultimate place for the card collector to go. You feel like we're on track to accomplish that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been to shows all across the country. I mean, east, west, north, south. We've been to shows all over the country, buying inventory of all sizes and shapes. I mean, big cards, small cards, something for every collector. I mean, we have every sport covered at this point. We have most of the TCGs covered. We've done a great job in getting like really, really amazing cards for the collectors.
Yeah, we have. And as you mentioned TCG, and that's an important point. So right when you walk in the front door, this entire front section of the store is actually going to be trading card games and non-sports cards. We've got a ton of Pokemon. We've also got Magic, and we've got Yu-Gi-Oh, and we've got Star Wars, and we've got Marvel, and we have Disney Lorcana, and we have a lot of different, sets as well. We did that very strategically because we know that people are going to come to our store for sports cards, right? People know us as a sports card brand. But trading card games are an extremely important part of our business mix. So we decided to put all of the trading card games right at the front of the store, because that way people who are looking in from the outside, people who just happen to be passing by and may not be familiar with the Sports Card Investor brand because they're not sports card collectors, but they're into Pokemon. We want those people to gaze inside the store and go, wow, this place is for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be unreal up here in the front. I think for us, making the difference in where the traffic is in our parking lot. I mean, I think our landlord told us the other week, this parking lot reaches 100% capacity on the weekends. Like, it's going to be nuts. I think we're going to have a lot of customers come to the store that don't really know us at all. They're just going to see the sign and walk in. I think that's a huge advantage for our business.
Yeah, and we very intentionally, on our sign, we have the signs up outside, which is very exciting. Those went up a couple of weeks ago. So people are now, their buzz is starting to build. People are seeing where we are. And on the sign, we put sports cards and Pokemon. We decided to intentionally put Pokemon up there because we wanted the world to see, people who don't know us and they don't know what this store is, we want them to see, oh yeah, we got Pokemon too, because we know that that's going to drive a whole audience in. Okay, so people walk in the store, they're instantly greeted with tons of showcases, they're instantly greeted with shelves and shelves of wax, Pokemon at the front. Then they start to venture a little bit further back into the store. They're getting into the sports card area. And probably one of the first things they're going to notice at that point is all of these different rooms along the side of the store. We have 6 live selling cabanas. We're calling them cabanas because the front of them is open to the store, right? And we did that very intentionally because we want it to be somewhat interactive with the people in the store. We want our when people are doing breaks, online for our live audience, we want, if they pull a big card, we want everyone in the store to be able to come over and see the card. In fact, we're even I think I'm gonna try to wire up like a siren system or something, right? So that like if somebody hits a big card, everybody in the store is like, oh, I wanna go see what just happened in that cabana, right? And of course our live selling, we want it to capture some of the energy of the store. So being able to have those cabanas open to the rest of the store and capture the energy of people there, I think it's going to give us a one-of-a-kind live selling and breaking experience that nobody else has right now, and maybe really never will to quite the same extent of what we're trying to do. Carter, as you see how this has been built out, do you see that vision coming to life?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the breaking cabanas are such a difference maker for us. I think, right now you log on any of these apps, whatnot, TikTok, Fanatics Live, you log on to watch a breaker. They're just in a little room or an office. And some of these breakers have done a really good job setting up these studios. I mean, these are going to be studios that you can literally see in person. They're going to have even greater quality online. I mean, obviously, we've got a lot of help from your sports card investor team. And our goal is to produce one of the best breaking experiences online. So I think the mix between the in-store experience and the online experience is a real difference maker for us.
I would agree. Now, they were also one of the more complicated things to set up. Ryan, you were obviously part of these extensive conversations we had with, like, for example, the wiring, folks, the data folks, because we've got like 10 or 12 Ethernet cables running into each cabana because all of our cameras are power over Ethernet and they're all pan tilt zoom, and we have multiple cameras in there. We got lighting systems that are controlled by the computers that are in there. I mean, those were a challenge to get right. What stood out to you, Ryan, about that process?
Well, just the amount of cameras we have in that room. I mean, just being really transparent with what we're doing. I mean, you see some breakers, they take boxes off the camera, whatever they're doing. I mean, we're going to be super transparent with what we're doing. We have a camera overhead, we have a camera left and right of the breaker, and just the production quality there is going to be absolutely insane. I mean, we tested it out with you guys doing that 500 card sale, and I mean, the cards show up on camera so clear. I mean, the amount of production quality that we have behind this is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it really is. And one of the cabanas is larger than the rest. We're calling that our feature breaking cabana. And, the thought process there was, let's have one cabana that has the capacity to hold some more people and have maybe a more intricate setup. That one we're going to use specifically for live selling. And I think we're going to do something really cool. We're going to be doing live auctions out of that cabana, and we're going to have a wall of all of the cards that we're about to auction lined up on the wall with a camera on it. So anybody who joins the stream, you know, if we're on Whatnot or Fanatics Live or whatever platform we might be on, TikTok Shopping or eBay Live in the future, people will be able to join and they'll be able to see, like, you know, oh, these are all the cards that are upcoming, you know, and we pull the next one off and auction it live and pull the next one off and auction it live. Once again, it's about creating that unique experience that others aren't doing right now and that we believe will elevate the bar for live selling in the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a big difference maker with transparency. I think being able to see the cards coming up is a really big deal. A lot of times you're seeing random cards pop on the screens, 15 seconds sudden death. You know, a lot of people don't have time to think. And, you know, I think a lot of sellers on Whatnot, you know, can deal with some people overpaying or underpaying. And I think it's going to bring us a lot of consistency. It's going to make our customers happy. It's going to make us happier. It's really exciting what we're going to be doing in that featured cabana.
Yeah, and we're hopefully get all that started in February. You know, so just to lay the timeline out here a little bit for everybody, we're going to do a preview night of the store on January 27th as part of the Culture Collision trade show here in Atlanta. Big card show in Atlanta, just right around the corner, Culture Collision. That Saturday night, we're going to host the trade night here in our store. That will be the first preview of the store. Then we're actually going to open to the public on February 1st. So a few days later is when we're officially going to open to the public. We're going to get our feet under us, and then we're going to start live streaming as February goes on, probably a little bit later in the month of February. But we'll probably start with that featured breaking cabana, right? We're probably going to get started in there and have that be the first place in the store that we go live and start to do nightly shows from that and really give the audience who can't be here in Atlanta a sense of the store and a sense of how we're you know, doing live selling. So I'm super excited about that. But I'm also excited about the incredible array of cards that we're going to have in the showcases throughout the show floor, because right now, as you look around, it is just a big open area, right? It just looks like a big sea of openness. This area is actually going to be packed with rows and rows and rows and rows of showcases with thousands and thousands and thousands of cards. Ryan, are we ready for that?
Absolutely not. we're working through the office right now. We have like 40,000 cards to price, and we're about a month away from that. So we're working very hard right now.
These guys, I can tell you, Carter and Ryan have been working late at night, weekends. Our first few CardsHQ team members, Trey and Mike, have already joined full time and have for the last few weeks been working alongside Carter and Ryan, just pricing cards, inventorying. Is it overwhelming, Carter? I mean, here's the thing, right? We are being so ambitious about having all of these showcases and all of these cards. This would be a simpler problem to solve if we said, you know what, we're going to have, 15 showcases and we'll have, 800 cards on display. But instead, we've said we want so many cards on display in the store that if you were to line them all up one by one, they would stretch across 14 football fields, because that's how many rows in our showcases we have to fill in this store. Are we insane for doing this, Carter?
I mean, there's 45 total showcases for cards specifically, and they're front and back. So that's 90 total displays that we have. And each showcase has a max capacity about 108. So it's an unreal amount of cards. I think, the biggest ambition for us is, I think we've touched on this a lot, is the inventory management side. I mean, we've been able to track every single card, and that's taken an extra effort. A lot of card shops today, they just track money in, money out. So they just track what they buy, what they sell. We're tracking every card, what we pay for it, what we're going to sell it for. So that's added a lot to our process. It would be a lot easier if we just bought the cards, priced them then, and then we don't know where they're at. But no, we want them tracked. We need them tracked.
Yeah.
We need to understand that. And I think that's going to give us an opportunity, because with 90 different displays, right, it's going to be challenging for some people coming in the store to find what they want. It's going to be hard. Like, yeah, you can spend some time and walk through some showcases, but there's going to be an overwhelming amount of cards. You're going to miss some probably looking through. So I think the beauty of that is that we're going to be able to track where our cards are in the store. So if you're looking for a specific player, one of our retail associates can help you find one of those, those cards that you're looking for if we have it, and we can direct you to that specific showcase where that card is.
It's ambitious because most, and I'm talking like the vast majority, like 99.9% of card shops don't do it that way, don't have to struggle with those types of challenges. We're trying to do something at a very large scale. And there's a lack of sophisticated tooling right now, products to help organize this type of stuff for card shops. Like there's just not much sophistication in the products that allow you to do this type of thing. Now they're all getting better, and we've tried some of the different ones out, like Magpie and Mascot, and there's others out there that do it as well. And we're piecing together a solution by using these different products. And I think in a few years, this problem will probably be solved. I think in a few years, you're going to see solutions like Magpie and Mascot and others mature, and you're going to see more card shops that are going to, try to do what we're doing, large scale inventory that they really want to track, because you've got to track it. I mean, that's the thing. Like with the scale that we're doing, we can't afford to not have really precise tracking around the individual cards. Like we've got to know what is where, and we've got to know what profit we're making when something sells. Because if we don't, the numbers we're dealing with here are so large that we could frankly end up in a total mess quickly if we don't have accurate track of our inventory. But it's difficult, right? That's difficult. I know you guys have been struggling with, that challenge. We've all been struggling with that challenge for the last few months, and we're going to roll. It's not going to be perfect when we open the shop. We don't have the perfect solution, but we've pieced together some solutions, and it's going to be as good as we can make it. And then we're going to continue to obviously iterate on that and improve that. But that's a business challenge. That's a business challenge really for any card shop that's trying to get a real hold of their inventory right now. And hopefully something that smart entrepreneurs continue to attack that problem in our space and come up with better and better solutions for card shop owners. But that aside, all of our showcases are getting filled. We're going to do it. And these showcases, Ryan, they're not your typical showcases. We've talked about this before, but we custom manufactured very specific showcases because they didn't exist in the US. We've had them imported over. They're here now in a factory or in a warehouse waiting to be brought into the store. Tell people about what makes these showcases so special.
So we got an awesome insert made by Show Your Slabs. So basically, in our showcases, you're going to be able to see every single card. In some other card shops, they have the traditional showcases, and you can't really see everything, or you have to bend down to see the bottom row. When you went to Japan, you gave us that idea. It's like, hey, what could we do here? So Carter and I sat down, and we did some research, and we came up with we actually looked to see if they already made them, and they didn't. So then we decided to contact Show Your Slabs and had these custom made to show all the cards in our store.
The inserts and vertical really being the key, right? Like these inserts are standing up tall, and you had to work, Carter, with a custom, glass case manufacturer who over in China put together the shell, the glass shell that these Show Your Slabs inserts are going to go into. And they're front and back, by the way, which is not typical.
Yeah, there's doors on both sides. That was a major complication, support and overall structure of it. I mean, this was like a 60-day process over the summer getting this ready. I mean, we went back and forth. We initially wanted to go the Burbank method and get the counter showcases that were front opening. That was already a custom job. And then we kind of switched to this, this custom showcase after you got back from Japan. But it was a major complex process. And, I major gratitude to this bar display. That's the display company that we use that structured all this for us. It was a complete amazing process, and it's really exciting for us as a store because I think the ability, like Ryan said, to be able to see every single card clearly is going to be such an advantage for not us but for the customer. I think that's the biggest deal. You don't got to bend down. It's going to be comfortable to look at cards all the time in our shop.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to have a lot of people in. They're going to be looking at cards, but we also want to encourage people to linger in the store. We want to encourage them to bring their own cards in and trade with others. That not typical for every card shop, but we really want this to offer a unique experience to the collector. We've been trying to think collector first. with this store? How do we create the ultimate collector experience? And I believe if a store is going to create a really great collector experience, they ideally will offer an area for the collectors to come hang out and to bring their cards and to talk to other collectors and to trade. It builds community, and we want this store to be the hub of the collector community here in the Southeast United States. And so to achieve that, we believe that we need a big area for customers to lounge and for customers to trade. So we have built literally a giant customer lounge and a bunch of tables for both adults as well as kids to sit and be able to do trades with each other. Carter, what does this area look like?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we're going to have these massive TVs to watch sports. You know, for me personally, like I've been buying Joe Flacco cards recently because I watch sports and I want to buy a card that resonates with the cool moment, right? And I think a lot of people, a lot of collectors drive that way, you know, small collectors, big collectors. So I think to be able to be in here, you know, you can watch a basketball game, you can watch a baseball game, watch a football game, and then, you know, you see a player go off and you want to buy a card, you're here, right? And then the trading aspect of it. We're going to have so much surface space here in the shop, tables, and then coffee tables by the couches, seating. You know, our goal was to really maximize the seating here. I mean, I think the total lounge space is like 12 by 30 feet, and, you know, there's still kind of space around that. It's a massive space. I mean, most shops don't have the space to do this. Maybe they got space to put a couch, you know, and that does add a little bit of an effort to kind of linger and stuff like that. But this is, you know, we want people to be in here at the store. If you want to spend the whole day here, spend the whole day here. You're welcome.
Yeah, and that it's going to be absolutely incredible. The sports, as you said, we got these giant 90-inch televisions that we're going to be showing different games on. We've got the, you know, direct TV package, so we can show all the different games, right? NFL, NBA, you know, whatever is going to be hot that night for people to come in and be able to watch. And then the trading aspect and also the gameplay aspect, right? So we've got a lot of tables in the store, throughout the store, many tables. We actually have, you know, by default, I think, let's say I'm adding it up in my head, we're going to have seating for about 50 people, 40 to 50 people, not including the couches, the lounge, the bleachers, and just at the actual tables for TCG gameplay or for trading. And we can increase that capacity significantly if we're doing a special event. What do you hope to see, Ryan, with people coming in the store and taking advantage of those spaces?
Well, I just want to see a mix of, you know, the Pokemon collectors and sports cards collectors maybe learning from each other, and maybe the sports card collectors go to the TCG and try joining one of our TCG tournaments. I know Mike's really excited to put those on. We're going to try to do those on a Saturday. And then also just the Pokemon collectors maybe being introduced to some of the sports cards. I mean, where we're going to have our tournaments are going to be pretty close to our sports card showcases. So maybe mixing those communities would be great.
That would be pretty cool. I like that idea. You know, I've gotten a little more to Pokemon as I've got an exposure to it, you know, from my kids who are crazy about it. So, and I've read a little bit. I understand the history of it now. Mike from our team has helped educate me and others on this channel. If you go back a few episodes ago about Pokemon, there's some fun there, and that will be interesting to see what kind of crossover there is between the Pokemon collectors and the sports card collectors. I like that idea. So the customer lounge is going to be really cool, but maybe even cooler is what is next to it. We have talked about the collector experience, and we have talked about wanting this store to create an incredible collector experience. So when we were originally conceptualizing this store many months ago, said we needed an attraction that people want to come into the store and really be part of. That's exciting, that's cool, that's novel, that's different, that's new, that they can share with their friends and that they can share with other collectors. And the idea that we came up with was the world's first breaking arena. And this is going to be a custom poker style table that is going to be all tricked out with integrated card cameras in it, that is going to be wired up to TVs on the back wall behind it, cool lighting, and a whole set of bleachers for people to watch people open boxes and do box battles. And not only will people be able to sit in the stands on the bleachers and watch really awesome boxes being opened live, but everyone around the world is going to be able to watch, because this entire area of the store is going to be live streaming all the time. So anyone who's curious at home, just to call up the feed from CardsHQ and watch people sit down and break interesting boxes all day long with their friends, you're going to see that. It's going to be on YouTube every single day under a different YouTube channel. It's called CardsHQ Breaker Arena. We are excited to fire that up. Carter, what is this area going to be like?
Oh, it's going to be unreal. I mean, I brought my family here for the first time this weekend. My dad saw the area. My dad's not on cards. He's like, I'm already ready to rip a box right there. Like, he's so excited for it. I think this is going to create a different type of experience. I think a lot of people like to be in breaks and they like to get product ripped by breakers online. I think that live streaming aspect and seeing, having other people watch what you pull is entertaining, and it's kind of intriguing for a lot of customers. So now you kind of do that live in person, right? And now you can do it with your friends. Like, I think that's the coolest part. You can bring your buddies, you guys can pack battle, or you guys can watch each other rip boxes. You don't got to like send videos like, look at what I just pulled. Everyone's right here. You can go back and clip, from the YouTube stream, what you did pull. I think that's really cool. I think this is just going to create a different type of experience. It's one of a kind. We're excited for it. And I think our customers are going to literally, I think we're going to have line. We're going to have a line all the time. It's going to be a wait. So come here, buy your boxes, be ready to wait a little bit, but I think it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be great. I cannot wait for that part of the store. It's going to be, I think, that might end up being my favorite part of the store.
It's going to be our most crowded part of our store. I think our lounge is going to be crowded as well. I think people are going to want to be trading, but I think our bleachers, people are going to be wanting to watch people rip some cool products.
I think it's going to be really awesome.
I can't wait for release days.
Release days are huge.
Yeah.
People coming in and getting the box of Top Series 1 baseball when it comes out in February, and then hopping down there and sitting down and opening it. And the cool thing is that you're going to have everyone else in the store curious what they're ripping, especially with the new product on release day, so they can all sit in the bleachers and they'll see it all on the card cam, big TV behind showing everything that they're ripping on the card cam. Like, it's going to be super cool.
It's going to be so clear.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. I cannot wait for that. Now, next to the Breaker Arena, Ryan, is an area where you're probably going to be spending a lot of time, right? Tell me, these rooms don't look too exciting, but they serve an unbelievably important purpose. Tell me what these are.
Yeah, we're going to have really comfortable buying offices to provide liquidity. If you break a box right next door in our break arena and you don't want the cards, come bring them to me and I'll buy them.
There you go.
So we're going to provide really, comfortable area with, providing water, snacks as we transparently buy your cards. I mean, we have a process now where we pretty much log everything that you have and then show you what our offer is and why. So just being really transparent about that process and being fair with the collectors that come in to CardsHQ.
Yeah, it's creating that liquidity is a big deal. We hear Rob Veras from Burbank Sports Cards talk about that all the time, that part of the way that the hobby needs to grow is by having more stores that are willing to buy back from customers at reasonable prices, not giving them, 20 cents on the dollar, but buying back at reasonable prices, because that then helps collectors reinvest in other cards. And that creates the cycle of helping the hobby propel forward, right? And we're really trying to empower that in this store. We got two of these buying offices. Carter, you might be in one. Ryan, you might be in the other. We're going to have other guys, of course, buying as well on our team. And we're going to be ready for people to walk in the store with their collections, and we're going to be ready to make them good offers on everything. It's an important part of what we're going to do.
We definitely need the cards to fill all these showcases.
We do.
Yeah, I want people to realize, it's going to be a similar level of buying what we've been doing the past couple months. We need to maintain a level of inventory, right? I think we're going to be bonkers in here, and we're going to be selling a lot of product. I think people are going to want product, and they're going to want to be able to sell it as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully it goes two ways with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Thrilled for that, for sure. Also thrilled that our brand new Sports Card Investor Studio is moving in here at the end of the show floor. So this is going to be really cool. So this whole area back there is going to be glassed in. And the way that we're setting up the studio is that the background of our desk is going to be the store. It's going to be all glass. So we're going to be sitting at the desk. And as you're watching any Sports Card Investor show in the future, Top 5 Tuesdays, cards on the table, you're going to see the card shop in the background. I think it's super cool. It's going to be cool for people watching the shows because they're going to get a sense of what's going on in the background. It almost a little bit like when you watch College Game Day on ESPN, and you see the crowd in the background. Now, I don't quite know that it's going to, I'm not sure people are going to show up with signs, but maybe they will. Like, that could be kind of cool, right? If you got people with signs in the background or whatever, I would love to see some of that.
Let's encourage it.
It would be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. But on top of that, the people who do come in the store get the experience of actually being able to see the studio and being able to see things filmed live and everything like that. So that's super cool as well. I'm really, really excited. Ever since we started Sports Card Investor, all of our studio filming has all been, private. Like, we have a nice studio, but we don't have guests in our studio. It's not open to the public. So this is the first time where we're going to be filming our regular shows and actually have them like really fully open to the public. And that's going to be what we're going to do all the time now. So I think that's a really cool element to the store that I personally am super excited about.
Yeah, I think your studio is going to bring so many people just into the store, period.
Yeah.
I think that's just so cool. I mean, I remember when Ryan and I came to your office for the first time over a year and a half ago now, and we saw the studio for the first time. We were like, oh, this is so cool. And so now for everyone to be able to see it here in Atlanta, I think it's going to be special.
It is.
Yeah, just all the production equipment you guys have. I mean, that was what shocked me the most, of how much production you guys actually do for this channel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. We've got an incredible production team, and they work tremendously hard. I don't know how to operate any of it. It's all kinds of fancy cameras and cables everywhere, and more lights than you can imagine. But they do a great job with it, and people will now be able to see that on display whenever they walk into our store. Okay, guys, for everybody who wants to come see CardsHQ, preview night January 27th, trade night as part of the Culture Collision Show. Grand opening to the public February 1st. And then throughout the month of February, we're going to do different grand opening events. We're going to host people for the Super Bowl. Anyone who wants to come watch the Super Bowl at CardsHQ, come join us. Come to CardsHQ to watch the Super Bowl, right?
Big Super Bowl party here.
We're probably going to have like the slam dunk contest on the following weekend. We've got then the weekend after that, there's going to be a really big event that we're doing with Topps. More details on that to come. Can't announce that today, but that will be a huge event. What would that be? I think the third weekend of February,
I think around the
third or fourth weekend.
Something like that.
Maybe fourth weekend of February. That's going to be really big. And then, we're going to, all throughout February. So stuff happening all the time. Obviously, we're going to post all the dates and details to our social channels, CardsHQ shop on social. So I would encourage everybody to go there, and please come to Atlanta whenever you can. Come visit us. We're going to be here, and we look forward to connecting with collectors absolutely everywhere. Okay, guys, you ready? You guys ready for this? You ready? We're entering the true sprint to the finish line right now. You ready, Carter?
Yeah, it's definitely a true sprint, but we'll be ready. We're not ready right now, but we'll be ready.
You ready, Ryan?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it indeed. All right, guys, thank you for watching this preview of CardsHQ. More great stuff to come. And of course, these full-length episodes of The Geoff Wilson Show are available both on YouTube, under The Geoff Wilson Show on YouTube, as well as the podcast version is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So make sure to subscribe there as well. And we'll see you next time. Take care.